Okay. All right. Are you guys ready to have your minds blown? All right. I'm going to give you the video that will show you Tesla's 369 and the magnificence key. So basically, it's Tesla's etheric lattice solved. And I have not seen this anywhere. And if it is somewhere, it's not in the open. So I'm going to show you the connection to the Black Widow spider and the mysteries of 369. Huge implications to free energy. This grid is amazing, and I want to share it with everybody. So let's get to it. Um, Yeah, I'm real excited to show you this. So let me share my screen so we can go into some slides. That's definitely going to help as we go through this. So let me pull up my PowerPoint slides. Do that, share this. Okay. All right, so the screen, we should be able to see the slides now. And what I'm going to do is we're going to first just do a quick review here. I work on black widow spiders. This is shown here a female and the hourglass that's on her abdomen. And believe it or not, there is a connection. This hourglass that's here that I modeled Tesla's vortex mathematics back onto is it's actually a picture of the etheric lattice, but in this particular symbol, kind of almost like a condensed form. So let's continue through some of the slides here so that I can show you this. Um, so in the last video, I kind of showed you vortex mathematics, doubling and halving of numbers, and how you get a six-digit repeat when you double the numbers, and there's no 3, 6, or 9 in that pattern. So it will go 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. I talked about digital roots last time I presented this, and digital roots are where you take, say, two numbers and you compress it down to a single digit between 1 and 9. So 16, for example, is a 1 and a 6 or a 7. 32 is 3 and a 2 and 5. If you have the numbers, you see that the numbers run in the reverse order. So instead of going 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, you will go like 5, 7, 8, 4, 3, or 4, 2, 1. So these are six-digit numbers here. It's how the energy flows in the forward direction, the reverse direction. I modeled this back onto the hourglass as 1, 2, 4, and then 8, 7, 5. I also added 3, 6, and 9. 3 is the dielectric, and 6 is the magnetic, and 9 is the pause. So what you're looking at here really also is how the magnetic waves come out of the constriction. You can think of this like the singularity, 0, 9, energy going in and out. You can have expansion, when the waves are released from the singularity, you have expansion or a centrifugal force or emission. This is the feminine, the magnetic. If you look at the waves when they return, that is the number 3. That's the dielectric, and the waves will return. You get compression, a centripetal force, or this is also returning. So when I talk later about the scalar breath, it really describes how the energy comes out of the singularity, the magnetic for expansion, and then the return, which is the dielectric, and then the pause. So this describes like the breath. So this is also, as you look at it, this symbol, which you see interestingly popping up in different countries, but no explanation, just the hourglass, its association with time. And that's true because as the waves come out, they're time stamped. So time's associated with motion. When you look here at this, you can kind of see that there's two triangles that are here in the red, which is the hourglass. One's inverted. You have this two in the 9-7 running right down the spine here of the hourglass. Almost you could separate the hourglass into two halves. This does look like the Great Pyramid in Giza. It's really an eight-sided pyramid. I talked about this last time, and it has the crease down the center. So if you pull up this right here, you pull this up toward you, you'll get this area here, which is the apex of the Great Pyramid. So there's definitely connections here, energetic connections. I didn't mention, but if we go back here, when we follow this flow here, it also represents in biology when a sperm fertilizes an egg, you start from one cell, it doubles to two, and then two goes to four, four goes to eight, eight goes to 16, 16 goes to 32. So this energetic pattern that you see here is seen in nature as how the energy flows. There's also geometry associated with this numerical system, which I'm going to get into, some geometric structures and how the energy flows. Um, so interesting, last time I showed you the 9 times table, and then I showed you how we could put the numbers, how these, like 1 times 9 is a 0 and a 9, and we could put these back onto different places of the hourglass. 2 times 9 is 18. Then we have 3 times 9 is 27. We could go through this. You can see here 5 times 9, 45, and then there's a reversal here. 6 times 9, instead of 45, it's 54. 7 times 9 is 63 instead of 36. You can see this is the energetic reversal that's taking place. So if you ever wonder kind of what the number 9 and the 9 timetables are doing, this is certainly one of the important things. Now, let's get into it. Let us get into it. Let's look here. Okay, this is a picture of Nikola Tesla. He's sitting in front of his impulse coil. It looks like a spider web. This is two-dimensional representation. He's sitting here, very famous picture that he took. And I want you to compare it to an orb web. Now, you guys know that I work on spiders. You know, this is an orb web. This is not the one cast from a black widow spider. Interestingly, this is from an orb weaver, making, and nature's always making and giving us clues to very important aspects of physics. So it's interesting that an orb weaver spins this. This is representation of the etheric lattice, Tesla's lattice. I'm going to show you exactly, deeper insight to this in a moment. The black widow spider cannot spin this. It spins a cobweb, which it doesn't have the symmetry. But despite not being able to spin the etheric lattice, it actually left the etheric lattice as an hourglass. And I'm going to show you that as we move through this video. Okay, so let's get down to it. Okay, so here is what I would refer to as the 33-degree step etheric lattice. So I'm showing you, so 33, this number, very like it's associated with Freemasonry. And of course, the Masons used to do very important and still do architectural structures. And they would, some of the ancient sites would have to be they can't use labor. They have to have people donate their labor and actually do the buildings so that they can retain the divinity in the actual structure, so that you can't actually be paid for it. So anyway, this etheric lattice here, I want to show you that it goes around. So I have 3 concentric rings here. This is kind of just part of the lattice. You can see it looks like the orb web. And you can see here, I'm going to go around in increments or steps of 33. So we have basically a 363-degree scalar circle here. I'm going to call it a scalar circle because it's not 360 degrees. It's been shifted by 3 degrees. And so as you see this, you can see as we go around, we go to 33, then we go to 66, And then we go to 99. So there's 11 of these radial lines, each one in increments of 33. So 33, 66, 99, 132, 165, 198, 231, 264, 297, 330, and back to 363 degrees. Then you continue on. So this is 11 increments here. You go to the second concentric circle, and then you pick back up over here. So you add another 33 to 363, and you get 396, then you go to 429, 462, 495, 528, 561. You can see you go around this and you end at here on this radial here, that's 726. Then the third concentric circle here, it's a triad. You pick up from 726 to 759, and then you go around the 792. I talked about the importance of that number. So these are all nodes here that are on this etheric lattice, and you keep going. Here's 891. This is associated with Tesla's room number, 33 times 27 in the New Yorker Hotel. And then you can keep going around here, and you can see these important nodes. We end at 1089. Now, I have these all in red because this is the scalar circle. 726 is the tetrahedron that's phase shifted by 6 degrees. And then you have the square base pyramid that's phase shifted away from 1080 by 9 degrees. And in fact, if I keep going on this lattice, all the important geometry that is phase shifted, the geometry actually breathes the scalar geometry, not the Euclidean geometry, which I'll show you in a second. They're all falling on the same radial. So they're in resonance with one another, and they can fold from one geometric structure into another. But so what are we really looking at here? We're looking at how when the universe breathes, this is a constraint framework. And ultimately, the electromagnetic waves are going to come out of these nodes. The electromagnetic waves, we're going to be looking at the crystal spiral. They're going to come out of what would look like a heptagonal structure. These are gates. But they're constrained. There's constraints on them. So when the magnetic and the dielectric waves come out, they have to be in coherency. They have to satisfy a coherency in order to come out, and you have form. Now, let's look at a little bit more. Now, you might have noticed, okay, so I haven't really explained to you yet where the 369 comes from that Tesla was talking about. Now, I wanted you to digital root. Do digital root here as we go around. You're going to find that if we start here at the 363, you're going to see that this will add to a 12. So 3, 6 is 9, plus 3 is 12. If you digital root that, that's a 3. 33 is a 6. Again, we're here. This is so this is 6. I should have started here at the 33. So the 6, and then we go to the 3, and 9, and 9 is 18, which is 9. And then we go back here to the 6, 132, and then this we go back here to the 3, and then back to the 9. Okay, and this you'll see that we'll go 6. We'll go 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9. So this is the 369. All the way around, and all the way around here as well, and all the way around here. And we can keep going with this grid. So let me show you a little bit on the numbers here. So this is, if you want to see classical geometry that's more Euclidean. And in here are some, you'd say some of the Platonic solids, but 1080 is actually the square base pyramid, the summation of the internal angles of that. And so this has 4 triangles in 1 square. And if you calculate the internal angles of this, and you can see the amount of energy that the container can hold. So it's giving you a magnitude, or giving you a volume of that geometric structure. And as you go through here, a few things to remember, that the universe really does 2 things. It does frequency, and it does shape, or shape is angle. And shape is incredibly important, more so than just frequency. Everybody talks about frequency, but shape and the angle is so important to how energy flows. So here's the 2160. This actually would be the cube. or in my math, it's 2178. So you can see I have a scalar geometry, and you can see it's there. These are phase shifted by the number nine, the multiples of nine. So instead of here being the cube, this is actually the two square base pyramids put together, or 1089 times 2. So you can see these are all, as I go through here, 1089 multiples. These are incredibly interesting numbers. These are all the scalar geometry numbers here. These are going to be nested, one within the other, and they're going to represent the different dimensional planes. Over here, these are all static geometry, so they don't really breathe. These over here breathe. These are connected to the etheric lattice. So these are very important, more so than these over here. But you can see that there's mere pairs that are in these numbers. These numbers actually, if you do something called mere subtraction, they will not collapse back into zero. They actually will all fold into 2178. This is actually like a local singularity, if you will. This is the 12-pointed star. This one right here is if you have three tetrahedrons at 726 times 3, that's there. Each one has four. There's 4 points, and so times 3, you get a 12-pointed star. So if you are building structures that conform to these geometries, you can pull the energy, or you can resonate with life force, and you can pull energy to those physical structures. And the whole area can just thrive and prosper. Um, so we'll talk more about that as we go, but you can see, look at this. Look at the differences between these. They're all the 9 times tables. You can't make that up. Anyway, I'll talk more about that a little bit later as we go on. Let me show you a little bit of the math here for if we go around those concentric circles, and I told you that they run, there's 11 intervals. And so this is where you get 33 times 11 is 363. And you can see all of these that I showed you as we were going around there. You can digital root them all. I showed you that. And if you actually then take the numbers and add the mirrors, so this is 033. If it's 330, you're going to you're going to end up getting 363. So I'm showing you here what's called mirror. These are mirror additions. This is like when you are adding like waves, and or you have constructive interference. So in here you can see all of these. If I put their mirrors here, you'll end up, if you look at these, you'll get the 369. And interestingly enough, if you take this in the mirror, you'll get 9. All of them are 9s, which is quite fascinating. So then this is the second concentric circle here with the 33-degree intervals that are present as well. And so you can go all through this. I don't need to probably go over this, but you can see, look at this, digital roots. Tesla's 369. This is his code. It can be used and tapped for free energy. Okay, so here's the rest of it as you go through here, and you can see the last one, 33 times 33 is 1089. Okay, how does this, which is the etheric lattice, which is this, how does this and all of this relate to this hourglass? All right, now this is where I have to show you a few things. I need to go back here for a moment, and I'm going to introduce a few things going across the first concentric ring. So let me see if I can do a little writing over here. So I'm going to do like 33. I'm going to do some ratios over 363. And this is going to be 0.0909. Okay. Yeah, my pen is a little, and then 66 over 363. So I'm going to do some ratios here of the nodes relative going around one complete rotation. You actually have to go around 3 rotations for one a complete scalar breath. So this is going to be 66 divided by 363 is 0.1818. And these are just repeats. So they're just going to keep going. 99 over 363. This is going to be 0.2727. Okay. 132 over 363 is going to be 0.3636. Okay, these are all repeat numbers. 165 over 363. This is going to equal 0.4545. We can repeat 198 over here over 363. This is going to be 0.5454. This is the reversal. Also, keep in mind, this looks like Tesla's 891. This is the mirror of that. And then if you go to 231 over 363, you get 0.6363. 265 or 264 over 363. This is going to be 0.7272. Then 397 over 363 is 0.8181. That's also 911. And then 330 over 363 is 0.9090. Okay, so I want you to remember all these numbers here. These are all like taking proportions as we go around this first concentric ring. Okay, so if you remember all of that, I can take you to the hourglass. Now look at all these numbers: 182736455463. Okay, you can see these numbers here. They're coming off of this etheric lattice. I'm going to pop in right here. So look, there's the 1, there's the 1.8, there's 2.7, there's 4.5, 5.4, 7.2. These ratios are all on here. So this, if you were wondering, I can also show you this because there's a connection to the number 11 here. So this is 1 over 11. Okay, so that's going to equal 0.0909, and then 10 over 11, okay, is 0.9090. Okay, so these two here are 1/11ths, 10/11ths here. Over here, this is going to be 2/11ths, okay, and then down here, this is going to be 9/11ths. Okay, so this here, 2/11ths is 0.1818. 9/11, yes, this is 9/11.8181, and these are all repeats. Then here, the 2 and the 7, this is going to be 3/11ths, and this is down here for the 7 will be, this is the 8/11ths. All right, so this is 0.7272. This up here is 0.2727. And then here, oh no, the 3 here, this is 4/11ths, and the 6 over here is 7/11ths, and of course this will be 0.3636, and the 7/11ths over here is 0.6363, and then we can also go here to the 4 and 5, so this is going to be 5/11ths, and this will be down here 6/11ths, okay, 0.5454. And over here, this will be 0.4545. Okay, so you can begin to see that these, we are connecting here the hourglass back to the etheric lattice, which looks like the orb web. These are the same information. It's just, this is in a symbol here. It's an hourglass on the black widow spider. And I'm beginning to show you how it's related to the etheric lattice. And the other interesting thing here is that I mentioned before that we had 6 digits on here, that these are the ones that are the repeat. This is the crystal spiral. Okay, the crystal spiral. And if you add those numbers up, 1, 2, 4, and it goes 8, 7, 5. You add all of these up, you get the number 27, which is characteristic of the crystal spiral. 27 times 1. This is the first concentric ring on, if you go back, um, and you go back, this is telling you we're on the first circle, and if you go 72, the rotation goes in the opposite direction. 27 times 2 is 54. This is the second concentric circle here, and it tells you between 54 and 45. It's describing the rotation. One's clockwise, the other's counterclockwise. And then 27 times 3 is 81. And again, you can have 18. That's the third concentric circle. So it's describing the rotations as well of the crystal spiral, and how it is stitching in here with the hourglass and also the orb web. All right, so this is blown open. This is Tesla's grid. It was hidden for so long. Here it is. Now it's just a race to be able to create in the architectural structures or symbols, you create the angles and the dimensions that will resonate with the invisible lattice and help pull life force to those structures. Because you have geometry in your cells, the same thing can be done. You can pull the life force, which is basically unlimited energy, and that will help balance you. This is the energy that moves galaxies. This is the source. This is so exciting that I hope everybody enjoys this video. There's a lot more to come, and I'm super excited to share all of it with you. With that, I think I'm going to end the video. Stay tuned for the next one.